Good evening, good afternoon. You know, I'm here. We're up to everyone that's checking in from early. You're locked in live to your favorite Sunday evening talk show, interview show. It's a topic. We're coming to you live outside of Montreal. A show presented by Lock and Key Entertainment alongside Little Thunder Sound. And I'm your host, John Frost. I'm here. I say good evening to Keys Christine. I know. Look yourself, you know. Look up to everybody that's checking in. As you follow, they can just leave a little comment or something so you can see a day here, you know. You can say boom bang what go on. Yo, I hope everyone is enjoying their Sunday. I know it's still not so bad over here on my side in Montreal. The weather is still good enough for us to go out there and, you know, enjoy some good times. Big up to everyone locked in over there on Facebook. Big up to everyone locked in over there on YouTube. We're live on John Frost page. We're also live on all the Hot Topic pages. If you're not watching us live and you're watching us after, please to share the live with your friends. And also, if you're here live, just make sure you share it, alright? It's just a vibe. Hot As y'all are aware, today we are with us live. A female artist. Yeah, man, we're having a female artist with us today. Goes by the name Sure D. Recording artist. You know, he is from the Caribbean. Making a career outside of Toronto, Canada. She'll be here with us to tell us her journey, her story. You know, from where she's coming, you know, and where she is now. We're gonna find out what's the plan for the future. Stay tuned, stay locked. Big up Jamaica Music Machine, you know. Bobby, big up yourself. I mean, Bobby Kill Up on the check-in. Remember to stay locked. Don't big up yourself, Bobby. Go and shoot the live, people. I want to big up to all of my fans out there in Jamaica. To the whole of the Spanish Town link. The whole across Kingston. Downtown. Big up all of the Galchester family, you know. Big up to all of my Mali link. Them you know what place that. Big up Resource, Cocoa Walk, Touch Walk. That's a Newport, Jack Patrick. All surrounding and South Galchester. Big up on yourself. Big up over there in St. Elizabeth also. I want to big up to all of my fans overseas. Big up to all of you over there in New York City, New Jersey. Any which part in the USA, they big up on yourself. You know, Florida. Big up to all my people over there in England. Yo, Enton, where I deal with General. Big up yourself in the Lady Flu and the whole crew. up and running. Check 1, 2, yeah. Big up to everybody who checked in and you don't know. Yeah, man, you're locked in live at Topic Show. And today we have with us, none other than the lady herself, Sure D. That name is very interesting, and I'm sure you might wanna know how she came by that name, why she chose that name, and what does that name mean. I'll let her, as I said, tell you her story. Before we have Sure D, we're gonna make you get familiar with some of her works that she's been putting in so far. She has quite a few songs under her belt, and I'm enjoying them. Yo, LBD, big up yourself, big up yourself, LBD, my brother. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna make you familiar with some of the work that Shorty has been putting into the industry, so that when we bring her on and we're talking to her, you can actually match the face with the voice and the talent. So here we go. Sure.
Me, I feel high like la la la.
For the girls, big up yourself,
Red down my eyes like la la la.
Big up yourself.
La la la. See me, I smile like la la la.
Big up Father Scooty, Father Edgy. Who a little Thunder Clan.
I like la.
Big up yourself in a CJ.
Nothing that you do can faze me. All they can do is hate me. Me not tolerate disrespect any day. Put some respect on my name, baby. Watch how me just I do me with my whole team.
Shadow, motherfucking nigga, shut up. Hey, yo,
What them, Shorty?
Me, I feel high like la la la.
Watch out, man.
Red down my eyes like la la la.
Put up to my weed babies them out there now. When you ready?
See me, I smile like la la la.
Go and talk to some people on the live tonight.
La la la.
Talk to them.
Nothing that you do can faze me. All they can do is hate me. Me not tolerate disrespect any day. Put some respect on my name, baby. Watch how me just I do me with my whole team, and we could over here. Money me a pre-team, no sleep, move low key, trying to be the next billionaire. Me I aim high, so high I believe I could fly, and for that mean apologize.
Well, listen about them Saga people. I like how she sound. I like that Saga.
Me not beg friend, me not blend, me not pretend. Me I set trend, you comprehend. You a thief head, can't please them. Squeeze them, me no need them. Me I feel high like la la la.
La la.
La la la. Red down my eyes like la la la. La la la. See me I smile like la la la. La la la. Watch how me shine like la la la. Whenever me flow,
Yes, sister, the little lady bad. If you never hear her before, you hear her for the first time on Hot Topic. Get familiar. Shirley. Walk on vertical, you're good. Oh, yeah, man, give me some fire upon the screen. She might new to you, but she bad. Now, look, Shirley, big up yourself.
When I whine my boom 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 boom, make your heart go boom boom boom. Boom boom. You think I'm small, I'm a little bit, but I know how to whine and jiggle it. Keep your eyes on me when I wiggle it. Keep your eyes on me. I go make you weak, oh, make you feel so sweet, oh, oh yeah, baby, Pico, baby, Pico. When I push it right back. I know you must like that. I know you must like that. Cause I have the must come back. I will give you thunder. When your breast is pumped out.
Julius, boy.
I give you permission to wine on me.
She telling me, yeah.
Wine on me.
She telling me, yeah.
Wine on me.
She telling me, yeah.
Wine on me.
She telling me, yeah. This body that you have done, calling me. The things you're doing to me, I could handle it.
What one kid in a long time, I just see them, everything good. You got myself and my friend. Welcome on Hot Topic again. Check in.
This bumper is yours, darling. I like how your hand.
Anyway, talent that we are lock and key entertainment find talent in a little girl that she bad. A big one still, but you don't know true. You know, like get the ladies them the soft. You know, my sister always say little girl, we don't mean so she's a baby. You know, I got kids. Let me have my special guest, my female artist on my live, introducing the people to the brand new, beautiful, elegant female outside of Toronto. She goes by the name Shardy. Go follow her on Instagram. Go follow her on Facebook. Shardy, what's up?
What's up, man? I'm good. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to have you, and say thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to, sit and reason with us. You know, let the people who are not familiar with you and your work get to know you and all of that. We appreciate having you here. So on behalf of myself and Lock and Key Entertainment, Little Thunder Sound, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So what's good? Where in the world are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Toronto, dealing with this pandemic. Right?
Yeah, that's a whole story that could take our entire interview. But
I,
today it's about
boy,
you, you know?
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a nice having you people. We have here with us, as promised, Shorty. You know, she's a recording artist outside of Toronto. You know, from the Caribbean. You know, soca background, but she, as you can all hear and probably realize by now, she dabbles into music, not just any single specific genre, but any genre of music, and you will hear more about that as the interview goes on. So, Shorty, let's start from growing up. Katian, am I right?
That's
Yes.
correct.
So where were you born and raised? Where are you from?
I'm from Trinidad. So I'm
You're
born in
from.
Trinidad and I was raised in Toronto. I came up to Toronto when I was 9, and from then I went to school up here, and has always been back and forth due to the fact that my mom is up here in Toronto, but a lot of my family still remains in Trinidad.
Okay. So you were between Canada and Trinidad. So I guess you're well rounded when it comes to like the culture of the
Yes,
Caribbean and all of that. Yes.
yes,
Nice. So you said well mommy was in Canada and other family members was in Trinidad. So who mainly raised you would say? Like who you spend most of your years growing up with?
most of my years I spent with my mom, who after coming up here, we would be up here full time, so we would only go to Trinidad like on holidays and things like that. So I wasn't in Trinidad for months at a time. Only until afterwards, as I got older and I was able to leave on my own and things of that sort, I was able to go back and stay there for months at a time, and then come up here and spend the remainder of the time in Toronto.
So, well, with that said, I'm assuming that most of your schooling was in Toronto. So, which
Correct.
school did you attend, and what was school like up to high school?
Well, school was it was just something obviously you had to attend, and it was good. And I went to high school. I went to 4 different high schools in Toronto because
Oh,
I was I was good and bad at the same time. Right. So
help us
I
to
had
understand more. What was the good part and what was the bad
well,
part?
I don't like to trouble people, but if people trouble me, it's a
You
different
defend
kind
yourself.
of situation you'll get with me. So we had a crew of girls that we used to chill with, and my first high school, they actually split us all up and put us
Yeah.
in different schools because we was too bad together. So
Oh,
they
wow,
actually split
wow.
us up. So that's when I ended up
Yeah.
going to different high schools and things like that. But I did graduate from high school and went on to university, where I was able to major in psychology. So,
Wow.
I got
Yeah.
it together afterwards. But
That's
at
nice.
the
That's nice.
beginning, yeah.
And that's good for some of the youths out there who might be
Right,
troubled a little
right.
bit. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, you can fix it and make it right. You know.
Absolutely,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
well, it's nice to know that you even went on to university. You know, like
Hmm.
normally we stop at high school because we don't want to go too far in the educational background and things.
No, I had a goal because, I had none of my family members prior to me had attended university, and I wanted to be sure that I was the first to attend. So I pushed hard and I made it. And I wanted to be the first, and I was that.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling, and I want to congratulate you for pushing and for actually doing it. You know.
Thank you,
Like,
thank you.
it's good when you set out, when you see something and you want to make a change and you set out and you go for it. That's good. That's good. But
Right.
what was early childhood education like?
I was very bright. I was always very bright in school. And I loved my favorite classes were math and English. And I just loved going to school. I loved even even still today. I'm never ever really done learning. I always am able to grow and learn more. And I take classes where I have the time and do things like that because I do think education is very
Yeah,
important.
right. Yeah, good, good. Yeah, for real. Education is, as they say, the key. There are many keys to success, but that's kind of one of the more important ones.
Hmm.
All young people, especially kids with the opportunity, should strive to have a good education because it's easier when you're young to learn and grasping than when you get older. Although you never stop learning, so as early as you can make use of education is always a wise decision. So as a kid growing up, Katian, what were your interests? Were you interested in music, or was it like, was your
I
mind on other stuff?
I wasn't interested in music at all. I was big on sports and I played a lot of soccer and I was all about soccer and I played in school, out of school, and that was my thing. I loved sports and I was in gymnastics and I did a little of everything and I was in dance and it was never really music, although I have an uncle who is in music and I just never thought to pursue it or never dabbled in it until high school. When I was in high school, there was an area I grew up with in Toronto, in Scarborough,
Right,
and I was around these guys who used to rap, and I used to always listen to them, and a whole bunch of people would always come out and listen to everyone freestyle, and I one day told them, I'm like, one day I'm gonna come out here and I'm
Mhm.
gonna shut it down. And
Yeah,
they're like, whatever. Back then, they used to call me Shotty, which is Shotttie, a different spelling to my name.
right,
And they're like, whatever, whatever. I'm like, okay, one day you'll see. And I went home one day and I decided to write this verse and I wrote it and I practiced it and practiced and practiced so I could memorize it. And
right,
then I came back out and the following time they all linked up and I came back out and I'm like, I'm ready, I had all this confidence in me, and I had my turn because everyone who would be rapping would have their little turn. And I came
yes.
out and then I'm like, I come in the circle like I've arrived.
You came to own it.
And then I dropped my freestyle that I wrote. And then at the end of the freestyle, everybody's like, whoa, okay, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. And even
Right.
still, then, after I didn't take it seriously, but I just wanted to prove a point at that time.
So you actually got drawn to music by default, or from a sense of wanting to I wouldn't say compete, but to be, or to be in the circle and do what everyone else was
Yeah,
doing.
but really, though, it was to compete because I wanted to show them that I could do it just as good, because it
Yes.
was always a bunch of guys rapping, and there was never no female coming and rapping in the circle.
What would you say was inside of you, not being interested in music before much, not really being around music, doing anything musical, but what would you say that was inside of you that made you feel like, listen, they're doing this thing, I could do it. Like, I'm gonna show you guys one day. Like, what caused that? What would you think caused
I
that? Was
feel
there?
like because from a very young age, I always loved writing and I loved writing poems and things like that. So when I realized, oh, y'all just rhyming words and just rhyming this one to this one and the figure and listening and figuring out how it's done, I
Right.
knew then, because it's poetry, but it's the structure of it is a little bit different when you're writing it, right? And I
Yes.
just was like, no, I could do this. So that in me being wanting to elevate my writing as well, I
Right.
wanted to tackle it.
Because like being an artist, like a lot of people who are familiar with music know that there are people that can write songs, and there are people who can, what do you say, sing songs, and not everyone have both. Not everyone can write and sing at the same time. You're talented with both gift, and you're saying that you figured out because you could write, then you figured out if you just find the pattern to write songs, and then see, we all know now you have a good voice, so you just end up delivering what you write also.
Right.
Interesting. Without even thinking or knowing that you were gonna go down this path in life.
I didn't even know that I would have been good at it. I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna be off the bat. I didn't think I would be good at it, but I thought that, with anything you want to do, you have to practice or work hard at it, right? So
Right.
that was that ethic that I already had in me from that time where I was like, no, I'm gonna go and write this. But then not only just write it, I'm gonna rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it until I
Right.
get it, until I like how I sound doing it. And then when I got that, then that's when I was like, okay, I'm able to deliver this.
Wow. So would you say you were self-inspired, or was there other artists that you looked up to before you even started, or whilst you were entering or trying to enter or you have any icons that you would say like, yo, yeah, I started thinking about or looking at or focusing on any specific person in
I
the industry?
think like solely when it comes to me wanting to rap at the beginning had to
Right.
just come from me hanging on the block with the guys that I hung out with and just seeing the talent that they have, because I mean there's talent all around us, and being able to see it and see it so close and just be in awe of how talented they were. I was like, that's what made me wanted to get into rap. Now when I wanted to get into further music, I looked up at other artists that I because I always had a love for music. I love
Right.
listening music. I love R&B. I love hip hop. I love dancehall. I always loved music, but I never thought I'd be the one to be creating the art form, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it was solely based on being around the people who was doing it, but then later grew into getting inspired by other artists.
Other artists.
I love reggae. I love Bob Marley. And I also share a birthday with Bob Marley. So even all that, I'm like, maybe I was destined
Maybe
for
you
this.
were
Maybe this is for me. So
right.
yeah, there was, and then soca artists that that inspired me and made me want to try different genres of music you know
But who are some of those artists? Like, you mentioned Bob Marley. Who are some of the others? Because I know you, as you said, there's reggae, there's soca,
Yeah, I
there's
love.
R&B.
Okay, so I like Taurus Riley. I love Bunji Garlin. I love Fay-Ann Lyons
Yeah.
in the soca arena. And I love each and every one of these people for different things.
Different. Okay.
Not all for the same thing. I mean, the music is great, but I love Bunji for the rhyming. I love
Yeah.
Fay-Ann for the stage presence. I love Bob Marley for the classics and the timelessness of his music.
Right.
I love Taurus because the voice don't change. It's everyone I
Different.
love for different
Different
reasons.
reasons. Yeah.
Mhm.
So when it comes to like hip hop, R&B, like who are your people in
Well,
there?
I'm definitely a East Coast hip hop listener. So, I was listening to the Jay-Z's, the
Right.
Biggies. Um, I was listening to mostly East Coast hip hop. Maybe because that's a lot what they would play and was accessible to us in Toronto. So
Okay.
like I came on to the West Coast rap later in life, but really I was about all East Coast hip hop
Was already
because
yeah.
the rhyming, the way they rhyme, and it seemed very lyrical, and that's the beauty of writing. You want to be able to write, but not basic writing. Anyone could do basic
Basic.
writing, and
Right.
there's a lot of basic writing right now still, but that's why the ones that really can say something in their music, and you can hear metaphors and you can hear wordplay. Those are the type of artists I would more gravitate to.
Gravitate to. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's good to want to be above the average, like, so it's better it's better to pay attention to the things that are above average, and strive for that. That's good. So with a career like this, is kind of a sense. You have some people who say, oh, I didn't choose music, music chose me. This was like you were called to music naturally by the elements, and you started doing, just as we would say, to compete because they were doing it, and something inside that you could do it. That's where you started. So what was the journey like from there on? Like, what started happening when you find yourself doing that? What caused you to transition to taking it more serious? How was it like?
Well, I think it took a while to transition from, or to be the artist in the forefront, because
Right.
I'm an introvert, so I like to be center of attention when I'm on a stage, but when I'm
Yes.
off a stage, I'm to myself, I'm chill. I
Right.
don't like the hype, I don't like all the extras. That's not me.
Right.
But when I get on stage, I'm gonna shut a stage down, and I'm gonna have that presence when I go on stage. So it did take me a minute, because I I decided to work on my craft as a writer. So I decided to write, and then being able to travel from Toronto to New York and back,
Right.
I was able to learn and to be amongst that culture in New York, which is the underground culture of hip hop, and then being able to meet people and work as a writer with people and learning from them. So
Right.
me being able to be in New York, I met Kia Jeffries.
Right.
Kia Jeffries had a song with Akum Nelly called "Put It in Your Mouth," and Kia Jeffries took me on the road and allowed me to be with her as a writer. So
Right.
during that journey, I was able to learn my craft a little bit more, and get the experience in being around someone who was more seasoned in the business
Okay. So that helped you to start getting more confidence in yourself, and
hmm
start even thinking more of doing it like as a career and
as a
stuff.
career.
Right. So do you remember now, like, so you remember all the journey, the little stages. People, as you all are aware by now, she's a songwriter, and she has been writing songs for other people. Well, for other people, for sure. She's been working with many other producers. But how did you get into start doing it on another level now? Like, how did you get to that? Where
So
did
on
it start
another level, I used to always visit and go back to Trinidad. Basically, my dad lives in Trinidad still to this day, and I used to go to Trinidad to visit. And then I have an uncle who does rap soul, which is a genre of music, which is more, it's like hip hop, soca, kind of a
right?
fusion of, right?
Fusion.
And through him, I was able to meet um, a sister by the name of Ava, and she introduced me to someone very known in the culture named Brother Resistance. God rest his soul.
Right.
He put me in my first tent in Trinidad. Now, tent is something that happens every carnival season, and he got me into a tent where I was able to perform with a live band every carnival season and tour with the tent. And because of that, that not only built my confidence, but that allowed me to see learn the type of demographic I wanted to have as my audience at that time. And that really allowed me to gain the confidence in myself to do and to continue on being an artist.
Okay, so like a tent would be consist of other artists. So you were like in a group of
Absolutely. So I was
artists.
just one of the many
Yeah.
artists within that tent, and you would be able to come see me every carnival season
Right.
perform with a live band. And I was performing soca in a calypso tent. So you could sing calypso or you could sing
Right.
soca.
So
And normally calypso, you'll have different topics, and you could sing political calypso. You could sing humorous
right.
calypso, things like that. So I was doing soca within a tent.
Okay. So you, so that would is sorry, that is where you would say you had like your first show or your first performance would be starting from there. But
Right.
this person, God rest his soul, how did he actually figure or choose to have you inside of a tent? What
He
was happening
just
before?
he had knew I wanted to do soca, and I did my first soca song, and I don't know if it was the greatest soca song, but he probably did see something in me that he was like, maybe I just need to learn and grow, and maybe this would be able to help me, right? And doing that, he had, I don't, he never even saw me perform, not once.
Right.
But he had access to these different avenues, and he got me into a tent. And I mean, I definitely made him proud afterwards, but he just had that faith, and I guess had that feeling that I'd be able to work well in a situation like that.
So, all right, based on your experience and your situation, would you like be big on encouraging other people to like give some people a chance, even if they don't see their potential, their full potential in the initial? Like you're saying, you're not even sure why he chose to give
I
you that
think maybe
chance.
he saw my passion. I think he saw the passion I had and the desire I
Yes.
had to do music. Um, he didn't put me on any type of platform. He put me on a platform where he knew I could learn from, not
Learn
just
from.
learn from being in. First of all, performing with the band is completely different than performing on tracks. So I got to learn that and experience that and learn from other entertainers that would be part of the show in those tents. So he put me in a place where I'm very thankful for, because that allowed me to learn a lot and know a lot moving forward.
Okay. So you're saying, although he gave you the opportunity, maybe, without even seeing your full potential, you were also willing to humble yourself and start from the bottom, where was, as you say, in a group of people, taking your little chance that you would get, but not just thinking, okay, I want to pursue music career and I have a talent. I know I could probably do this. I just want to go do it. You were humble enough to say, no, I'll start from here with a group of people, and then you took that as a space to learn and develop yourself.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. So you started there, and
Hmm.
you were there, doing your soca tent. I'm sure everything was growing, the confidence was
The
growing, the
confidence was
ability.
growing, and I did that for about 3 years. And then after, I'm like, this is not enough. And I felt like with tent was great, but the demographic, not a lot of young people would come to tent.
Tent,
It would
yes.
be an older audience. So I'm like, okay, this is, I need to reach my demographic. So
Yeah.
I decided to step outside of the tent and release a soca song called Twerk It, which is full of bacchanal. And in doing so, I was able to get enough buzz to be placed on the biggest show in Trinidad called Soca Monarch. And I performed at Soca Monarch as a guest artist. And there, I think, really I started to really push myself and
Push
take it
yourself.
more seriously, and in not just performing, but in releasing music and releasing soca songs.
Oh, good. Wow, this it's a journey.
Yeah.
So all right. So when you started doing more stuff in Trinidad, did you like decide to take a break from Toronto and go over there to make sure that you nurture your career and root it in your culture, and with the people who recognize you?
I
That was a
absolutely
decision.
did. I absolutely did. I stepped out. I moved to Trinidad. I was staying in Trinidad for months at a time because I took advantage of having dual citizenship,
Yes.
and I was able to be in Trinidad for a good period of time, come back to Toronto when I got bored or if I wanted to see my family, and then I'd go back to Trinidad, to continue growing and moving about and learning more with the music as well.
Wow, nice. But how important do you think it was that you spend time in Trinidad to get your career started? Do you think it was more important to do it to kick it off there in Trinidad than to stay in Toronto? You think that played a vital role in getting your career up and running?
I think it played a vital role for me getting more recognized in Toronto, being that I'm more based in Toronto, but being in Trinidad and people seeing that I'm there doing things,
Right.
I think it
It opened up the
made
eyes of
them
yeah.
not be so afraid to play the music or to support me because they see that I am going out there and doing more.
I guess you being in Trinidad doing the music and they're accepting it kind of open up the Toronto eyes or the
I
international
think
eyes to
I
accept that you
definitely
can.
think so. I definitely think
Yes,
so.
yes. People good, we're here, we're live with Shore D. You know, we're fully into the interview, but you know, I'm sure there's a lot more that we can learn. So if you're just tuning in, just share the live with your friends so that they can come and hear the great journey, the great stories. So far I'm being inspired by her journey. You know, it's not one of those regular journey like, you know, some people would think that they just were born an artist and they just, you know, just do what they were born to do. She's coming from a place where, you know, she actually just find out that this is something that she should be doing. And that's where the career started. Over there in Toronto, hearing her friends, you know, freestyling all the time when she was around, and it was all those guys. Shauna, big up yourself, and I see that you've been here for a while. Yeah, we're live on YouTube also. Big up the YouTubers, you know. So she was there with her friends, and they were freestyling, and the guys were having fun, and I'm sure she was having fun, and everyone was enjoying themselves because everybody was just spitting some lyrics, and something inside her told her like, I could do this. And as a brave woman, a brave, strong black woman, you know, we can see that you are. You just said, listen, I'm gonna go write something and I'm gonna show you guys. You did it, and now she's here with me today. Live interview as an official artist. Let me remind you of what she sounds like. We're talking about the tent, we're talking about hip hop, calypso, we're talking about your Trinidad roots. Let me remind them what we're talking about. Hold on.
Shorty, Julius, boy, let me go.
I give you permission to wine on
She
me.
telling me, yeah.
Wine on
She
me.
telling me, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wine
yeah,
on
yeah.
me.
She telling me, yeah.
Wine on me.
She telling me, yeah, 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 yeah. This body that you have, girl, it's calling me. The things you're doing to me, I could handle it. Bring that bumper here for me. Cause your waist I want to see. Let me wine and jam on you all night long.
This bumper is yours, darling. I like how you handle it.
Well, these people. How did this song come about? Like, and you know, how did you get the combination? Who did you write this song? Like, tell us about it.
I worked with some writers in New York, and what happened is I was in New York, and I had gotten the beat from a producer in Toronto by the name of Dr. Rad, and he gave me the beat. I went to New York. I sat down. I worked with another writer, and we did it. We wrote the song, but then while we were writing the song, he was like, you know, I hear this next artist. He could be on the track, and his name is Julius.
Yeah.
So he ended up linking with Julius, telling him, listen, I have a song here. I think you fit on the song. If you could make it here, because that day I was leaving from New York to come back to Toronto. So I was trying to catch Julius so I can meet him before he even got on my track because I
Right.
had no idea who he was, right? But once I did that, I was waiting on him. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to get to the airport. I left. By the time I got to Toronto, there was a rough in my email and I heard it. Never got to meet Julius,
Right.
and there was a rough in my
He's based.
email, and
He's
he's
based
based
in
in New
New York.
York. Yeah.
Okay.
Never got to meet Julius, and when I listened to the rough, I was like, whoa, this
Right.
sounds so good.
Does this song remind you of any like combination between two famous artists? Like, does
No.
it sound okay? Okay.
No, I think we came good on the track. I don't know what song in soca that's a combination that reminds me of this song with a male and a female. I'm not sure. And there's not really, well, during there's a lot more collaborations in soca now, but
Right.
there
Before it
there's
was
not really much collaborations like that on music in soca. So I think we really kind of set the tone. That's why
you guys
to
killed it.
this day this song has over 200,000 views, and it's because of the tone we set with this song and the vibe of this song.
But was he recording before?
Yes, he's an artist. He's an artist in New
Okay.
York. Yeah.
Sounds good. Real good.
Yeah.
Real good.
And we decided to shoot visual for this song. So I did my part in Toronto,
Right.
and then he shot his part in New York. But when he shot his part, I was able to go back to New York. I was able to officially meet him in New York, and I was able to be in scenes of his part in New
Okay.
York.
In New York.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me play it one more time. Hold on.
Shorty, Julius, why? Let me go.
I give you permission to wine on
She
me.
telling me, yeah.
Wine on
She
me.
telling me, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wine on
yeah.
me.
She telling me, yeah.
Wine on me.
She telling me, yeah, 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 yeah. This body that you have, darling, calling me. The things you're doing to me, I could handle it. Bring that bumper here for me. Cause the ways I want to see. Let me wine and jam on you all night long.
This bumper is yours, darling. I like how you handle it. Like how it's feeling down there. Watch how you dismantle it. Love how you performing. Sweet like tea in the morning. I feel like I'm coming. You keep me calling. Don't stop wine on me. I liking it. Wine up on me. I liking it. Don't stop wine on me. I liking it. Wine up on me. Wine on me. Don't stop wine on me. Control it. Wine up on me. Handle it. Don't stop wine on me.
I can just see the girls in the club wobbling, whining on this song. The minute they're gonna enjoy it because this one, will make the woman them wanna wind up themselves, and when the man them like when the woman them get mad like that. Yeah, that was a good one. Good
Thank
one.
you.
Well, all your songs so far, because even like I don't even know. Let me hold on.
Shorty, why yo 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 yo, why yo 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 yo. I go give you thunder, when your breast is bumper. Why yo 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 yo, why yo 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 yo. I go give you thunder, when your breast is bumper. Just give me some room, when I wine I do, make your heart go boom boom. Boodoo, boodoo. You think say me small, I'm a little bit, but I know how to whine and jiggle it. Keep your eyes on me when I wiggle it. Keep your eyes on me. I go make you weak, oh, make you feel so sweet, oh, oh yeah, baby, Biko, Biko, baby, Biko, Biko. When I push it right back, right back, right back. I know you must like that. I know you must like that. Cause I have the must come back. Whoa, yo, 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 yo.
Yeah, you're doing real good. Good. Just continue doing the good work. Continue on the
Thank
same
you.
path. Like keep making music that we can enjoy and feel good. Like when your songs are playing, I'm smiling. I'm sure other people they feel a different mood, and that's what we want from music. We want to feel the energy. We want to feel the vibes, and we don't want to feel the down vibes or the violent vibes anymore. We want to feel the happy, love, joyous vibes. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you for putting the pen to paper to make us happy.
Of course, of course.
Right. So what if you can recall now? So we did the soca tent, and the career started growing. What was your first official show, and how did this come about? Let's bring us up to you starting out now to do like, you know,
Well, I
take
think
it
the
into
first official performance that was the biggest audience that I performed for at that time was the Soca Monarch. And the Soca Monarch is this huge event that happens every year where it's a competition. Soca artists enter. And try to win the title of the Soca Monarch, and they win lots of money. But
Mhm.
I actually went in there as a guest artist, so I wasn't in the competition per
Okay,
se.
understand.
Um, and I never really thought, like, for me, I was wanting to compete. I just wanted a platform for people to hear my music.
Right,
Even still now, I just want the opportunity for people to hear the music and to become familiar with the music, because I do feel that the music has a lot of potential and
right.
that it can stand up next to anything that's out right now in its genre.
True, true, true. So, Soca Monarch, so that was your first official stepping out there performance. But what would you say? 'Cause let's consider Trinidad as your locals then, right? Your local place. What
They
would you
don't
consider?
consider me local, so I can't. This is another thing about the situation, is because even though I'm in Trinidad, I'm from Trinidad.
You're
they don't consider me
you were
local.
born there.
I was
You
born
go
there,
there all the time.
but they wouldn't
You
consider
actually
me
started your
local.
career there.
I'm not
So,
considered local there, and then I'm coming to Toronto and from Trinidad, and here I feel like they don't even consider me local here.
that's what I was just gonna say. So where would you be representing for? Where would you be?
I
Like
still to
if
this day represent for Toronto and Trinidad. Is the two places that I will continue to. I have dual citizenship for a reason,
right.
right? So
That's it's like I've never come across this with the artist before, but it's right. It's something to think about. Like so, how do you where?
I
uh,
know. I know. I have a little difficulty even still maneuvering this situation, because it's like when I go back to Trinidad,
yes,
I say I'm going back home, but then when I am home, they'll say, based in Toronto, and
right, so
my accent is not as strong as
as
a
them, yeah,
Trinidadian, because I didn't grow up there. But
well,
then
yeah.
out here, they say you have an accent,
So you're
even though, right? They say I have an accent. So, but then I'm representing
you,
soca music, which is from Trinidad, and
you know what?
it's a hard place to be.
You know what? I'm gonna help you on that. I know you will probably remember me in the rest of your career. What we're gonna do as the career keep growing, which it has been, you're now on my interview show. That means you're being recognized out there. I don't know you from anywhere, so for me to have you here, you must have been putting in a lot of work, and the work continues. So you know what? You're gonna be local to your fan base, and whenever you give that
I
a name, then that's gonna be where you rep. Let them keep Toronto is yours, Trinidad is yours, but you're gonna create your own fan base, and then that's
hmm
what you're up for, and then
I love that.
maybe
I
that
love
time,
that.
you know what gonna happen that time? Then Trinidad gonna wanna claim you, and then Canada
They
gonna
want
wanna
to
claim
claim
you.
me.
But
Uh-huh.
then remember that I told you that make me the CEO of the fan base, and this is where we rep. Big
Right.
time.
I love that. I love that.
Benjamin, big up yourself, big up to everyone that's checking. We see Ghana in the building. So you see now your music, your voice, your face is reaching Africa. So you see today, I'm sure you're gonna gain a lot more fans, and that's what we're working for. So when the fan base keep growing, you're gonna find a name like how you find that creative way of your name, Shardy.
Yeah.
Shardy, and we're gonna talk about that later, how it came about. We're gonna find a name for the fan base. I don't know if you're gonna call them Shore fans or whatever, but then we're gonna rep for there, and I'm gonna be the CEO.
Yes, Jado.
So since seeing that we can't wait to find out, we're gonna find out claim both places as local. What would
hmm
you say was your biggest show in Toronto and your biggest show in Trinidad, if you can recall?
I think
Well,
my
so
biggest
come
show,
on,
what
know about, but
for
other than
performance, I think my biggest show was the Soca Monarch in
Trinidad,
Trinidad. And I think
yeah.
for out here, I think my biggest show to date is the Jerk Festival, which is an event that happens out here once a year. And this year, Taurus Riley was the headliner, and I was also on the show. And that show, I've always wanted to do that show. And during the pandemic, a lot of things happened, and there was a lot of me figuring out how to maneuver during that time, and to get the opportunity to perform um, on a show with all these other performers and with a
Right.
headliner like him, who
Taurus.
I do love. um, it made a lot of sense.
Right, yeah. And I'm sure you felt good, being in the presence of people you looked up to and know you're actually performing alongside them.
Yeah.
That's one of the probably goal of a lot of young artists. They want to get to the point where they can actually, rub shoulder with great.
Yeah, especially when I feel like I deserve to be there. Not that,
Exactly.
I never ran down Jerk Festival. I've always
Right.
wanted to do the Jerk Fest, but I never ran it down. And they came and they looked for me and they booked me. So that made me feel even that much better because I knew I did not sought out that show.
Right. Th-
And it made me feel better that I was seen and they saw me to call and wanted to book me on that event.
That shows that you and your team has been putting in the work. You have been putting in the work and the creativity and the music, and the team or whosoever you have behind you have been doing their part also. So now people are seeing and recognizing you. Same reason why we have you here today, because you've been putting in the work and the team has been putting in the work. Then we find it necessary to talk to someone like you. So keep doing what you're doing. Me, I say, keep the team together, if, as much as you can. I hope that you guys can keep working together
Yes.
to make the future better. So we're talking about, you're representing Toronto. It's for some artists, it's international stages, and you're representing Trinidad. But outside of Toronto, Canada, and so forth, what are some of the shows that you've been on?
I've been on smaller shows, smaller events like in New York,
Right.
and things like that. But I just hasn't been on a platform that I believe that is worthy of
Talking of
discussing. I mean, every opportunity is an opportunity in my eyes. Whether I'm performing for 2 people or 200 people, I'm gonna give the
it's
same energy. I'm gonna give the same type of show. Um, but I just feel like with this scene, especially in the soca scene,
yes,
it's difficult because especially being a female, and there's for a long time I was had no management, so it
right,
was me doing everything for myself, and I think that's a very difficult, tricky thing to do as well.
wow,
uh, Being a female is very difficult to be taken seriously
in
at
the music
times.
industry,
Yeah, and it seems almost like some people want you to beg for
right,
opportunities, and I don't believe in that. I believe my hard work will open the doors, and I will gain the opportunities based on the music that I'm putting out. So I'm still trying to maneuver and get onto these events um that I feel that I'm worthy of being on, but I'm not
good,
gonna beg to be on.
good.
And then
Sounds
at the
good.
same time, I've learned if they don't open the door for me, I will create my own platform. I will create my own show.
You
I will
create your
invest in
own.
myself to put myself where I need to be as well.
Right.
I'm not gonna
I,
sleep around with these producers and these DJs like they would like me to do. Pretty much.
because you've been kind of trying to find a better way or a subtle way to say it. But you're
Absolutely.
saying that as a female, it's even harder in the music
It's
industry because
hard.
some of the
It's
things that
hard.
that are expected of you or you're required to do, like you were not gonna do them for sure. And then you're saying like the male, your male co-workers don't necessarily face the same things because they're men. But as a woman, like people expect you to do the unexpected to have a career. So, and you're saying that you're not gonna do that. If that's the case, then you're gonna find ways to create your own part. And if it means that you're not gonna be in music, then you're not gonna bow
I
down
don't think
for it.
anyone can really like get me out of music. I think they're in everything, and there you're gonna find good ones. I call
Right,
them the good ones. And you're always gonna find good ones doing things differently than what everyone else is doing. So they'll want to open the doors for an artist like me. They would want to give an artist like me the opportunity. They would call me to be like, get on this rhythm, because not
Right.
because they see the talent and they want to work with me based on my talent, not because of what they can potentially receive from me.
Get from you.
You understand? So I think there are good ones. I've met good ones, right? So by no means I'm saying they're all like this, but the majority.
Would you like to see more females stepping up as producers, creators of the music, and maybe that you think
Absolutely.
that could make a difference to change that dynamics of the industry? Or
Absolutely.
we also could face the same thing
I
with the
think
female?
it's gonna be a fight regardless. I think it's just what it is with this industry, you know. A lot of people, like, you know, when there was this big wave of um this Me Too movement that
Right.
was happening,
Yes.
like there's a lot of things that could be discussed within music that a lot of people are afraid to speak up about because they don't want to be looked at a certain way or
Certainly.
feel like, you know, they're opening or busting certain people's files or whatever the case is. But there is a lot of, if there was human resources for soca,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there would be a lot of people getting fired,
Oh,
right? So that's just what I'm saying. You have to have a type of, they say you have to have thick skin
yeah.
to be in this business. You have to have thick skin, or else you're gonna want to give up, and you're gonna
Uh,
feel like, oh, not again. You
I
know,
can say
not
no.
this one.
That this one, I can say it's you just said in soca, but it's not just soca. I
I
think
know
it's
it's in
music
all, it's in
overall.
all
Yeah,
genres, but
it's music.
the genre I'm mostly in is
Right,
soca,
it's soca.
so I can speak on this
Soca,
genre. You
yes. But
know,
I'm just making the wider audience know that
yeah.
all the females in the music overall, hip hop, reggae, dancehall,
Mhm.
is similar situation.
Mhm.
So what would you like say to those upcoming ones? You've been on the journey for a while now. You
Mhm.
started your career maybe officially in 2018.
Yeah.
So that's why the pandemic came, so the shows haven't been as much as it was
Mhm.
before. So that is why you probably haven't been out there more international. But I would say, not to say, what would you say to those females who are considering now to enter the music industry, whether that be reggae, soca, or whatever? They're gonna be facing the things that you're talking about, the things that you've faced, and many before you have faced. What would be your encouraging words to them females?
I would say that if this is something that you love doing, do it. Don't let anyone discourage you or take you off course of where you're trying to get to or what you're trying to do. If you this is your passion, do it. And eventually, I always say hard work pays off.
Phase.
I see it for myself. I've seen it for myself. I'm telling you, don't give up so easily. Just be strong and know who you are. Once you know who you are, a
Right.
lot of people can't take you off of that, right? So I know
Yes.
the type of woman I am. I know
Right.
what I'm willing to do and not do.
Right.
And, you know, no one can convince me. I don't get influenced like that to do things. So
Right.
just be strong in who you are and work hard. And if this is something you love, do it. Do it. Just do it.
Positivity always pay off. So if you're passionate about your craft and you stay positive and stay focused, you don't have to necessarily bow down to get what you want. You can hold
Absolutely.
out. And one of the important things I think that you even mentioned before is to make sure you put positive, conscious music out there. So the love and the consciousness, the positivity will always override the bad and the negatives. If I get what you're saying, right?
Yes.
There's one point that you mentioned, and you only mentioned it, but I know I would go back on it. You mentioned that you were doing it by yourself, but you said that things changed when you decided to get a team, management, and maybe there's more, maybe manager, maybe street team, all of that. You mentioned that because to you that was very important and a critical change or a critical move in your career. How important is it to have a team as an artist, and why did you say that?
I think once I was able to remove myself from the business side of it and focus on the music itself,
Right.
it did a lot for me mentally, as well as it allowed me to focus on what I love doing, which is the music.
Right.
The business, once you can find someone who you trust, that you can allow them to handle that side of it, it
Right.
helps you a lot. It helps you to be able to just sit in yourself and create. And the business side is going to be taken care of. Now,
Taking
don't
care.
get me wrong, I'm still very hands on. I like to know what's going on in every single pot.
It should be,
I
I
I am the chef, and I have sous chefs, and I have to make sure the seasoning is right. I got to make
Yes.
sure the taste in the pot is good. I
Yes.
still am looking over everything, but at the same time, it was necessary for me to get help, because you
Right.
can't do it all alone. You just can't.
So you're saying it's important to have a team, it's important to get help, but do not leave everything or put everything in the hands of
Yes,
anyone else. Like you
you
have the
have to stay on
idea,
top of your
but you stay
business.
on top of it. Yeah. You
Yeah,
make sure that you're still hands on. You might not be doing
absolutely.
everything, but you make sure that you know about everything that's been happening.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great, great advice. Yeah. But what about, because we have seen where artists, choose to get rid of their management team and all of that. And, you've heard stories. Some of them change because they know they're important. But you might have a few people that are thinking, like, yeah, but some people say when them have manager this and that, and them have to get rid of managers. Like, what's your take on that? It's not always smooth sailing, but you're saying that if you even have to transition, make sure you still create a team. And you're saying that one of the things that make it works best is when you can find some people that you can trust, right?
Absolutely. And I think loyalty is very important in this business.
Loyalty.
You start off with people who believe in you, and then you switch up later. That don't feel nor sound right to me. I think the people who works with you and believes in you and is willing to do things for next to no money, sometimes no money at all, that shouldn't change when money comes, or that shouldn't change when certain opportunities come. You should be able to lock in with good people. I stay, like, a lot of the people that I associate myself with are people I've
Right.
known for a while, and also um, people who can say they know who I am. They know how my attitude is. They know they know me. So when I am on my tantrums and I'm like, they know, okay, okay, by later on she'll be fine,
Yes.
or whatever the case is. But you want to have people who truly want your best interest, and that's it. You may meet people later on that
Right.
you may feel like you can work with, and I'm not saying new people you can't work with.
Right.
I'm not on the no new friends tip, but I do believe that you should be very careful and very selective on who you bring in your
And
circle and who you allow to have your energy. That's very
yeah,
important.
right. You mentioned a keyword, loyalty.
Hmm.
And then you went on to say that you should remember the people who believed in you when basically, not your exact word, but you said you should remember the people who believed in you when no one else was there. I think you mentioned that because you're trying to say if you have a team that you're working with, although sometimes it might not be always smooth sailing, you got to remember that these were the people that were there when no one else was. And I think if I'm right, you're saying that a lot of people should pay more attention to that before they decide to switch up and change
I
up.
agree. I agree because like, even, let's just switch it up a little bit. Let's just say even this platform that I'm on right now. You're
Right,
giving me the opportunity to be on Hot Topic and to
right,
discuss myself and my path. Say tomorrow I get big in the dance and I'm
right,
huge,
right,
and then you call me now and say, Shorty, I need you to pop in on the show at this time if you can, or whatnot. I can't blank you because you're giving me the opportunity when other people ain't giving me the opportunity. These are the
right.
things I remember. I remember everything. I remember who, and I remember what, when.
What?
I remember because honestly, these things to me, I appreciate love,
Right.
because it's important to have people like yourself who are willing to open doors, like, for people like me.
Like you, yes, when
Yeah,
you're starting out. Yes.
Absolutely.
But sorry, I think that one of the things that we probably should emphasize more on or highlight more is that you can have a team. Like right now, myself, John of Flash,
Hmm.
Thunder Sound, we have Little Thunder Sound. We're
Okay.
with Lock and Key Entertainment, as you see. We have a team. So Keys is our management team, whatever. If, for example, one day we should get to a point where we're more in demand and we're more out there, there's no problem with, if there's someone else or a bigger company that can get us to our next level, to have all of us involved in whatever decision and signing we're gonna make for a betterment. You understand? Because it's okay if we're getting 10% of 1,000, but if we can all now get 10% of 1,000,000, there's nothing wrong with that. But why should we just now, when no one saw us or no one was pushing for us or believing in us, Keys was there. I don't think we have to get rid of Keys to go for the million. We can also involve the
You
foundation.
have to stand your ground, because they people will try to mash up what you have too. They see something good, and you know what works for you, what gels with you, the chemistry you have with people already. Just because the bag might be bigger, if you let this one go, if
Right.
you say, okay, I'm not gonna bring this one along and I'm gonna get a bigger bag, what does that say about you?
Exactly, and we deal and
Man,
there
you gotta
and we
stay
have seen
loyalty,
we have
man.
seen where sometimes people make decisions like that and their career just becomes stagnant. Like they were making $1 with that small company and now they're for a
Mm-hmm.
bigger company. They think they're gonna make more and the bigger company take them, sign them and park them.
Mm-hmm.
It has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So as an artist, you gotta be careful out there when you see the bling coming and the ching coming. You gotta know what you're doing. And as you say, one of the things we should always have is loyalty. Remember where you come
Mm-hmm.
from.
And
So
it's hard to come by.
I know
So
in
when
these
you
times,
find someone who's loyal to you like that, hold on to them, because I'm telling you, loyalty is hard to come by.
trust me. So what are could you just I know that you've had your experiences, you mentioned the struggles that the females have to go through in the industry. Give us one of your worst experience so far on the journey, if you can recall.
Without really incriminating people.
You don't have to call anyone name. We just want to hear the story, just so
Oh
some
my
other people can
gosh. I
know
have
what to look
so
for.
many stories.
Talk to us. We're here to learn.
Okay,
I'm here to,
one
I want to
very
teach the young ones that are coming up some of the things that they can expect and look out for.
one story. I'll tell you one story. One story, I was in Atlanta, and
Right,
I met this very big entertainer. Okay, huge.
right,
And I met him with a friend of mine, and me and her went out to Atlanta to check the vibe in Atlanta and whatnot. We met him at a bar. So at the bar, I introduced myself. I'm like, I'm Shorty. I'm from Toronto. I'm out here. That was when I wanted to just solely write, and
right,
write for people. And he's like, oh, dope, send me some of your stuff. Let me give you my email address. Send me some of your stuff, and also take my number.
right,
So then I went ahead and took his number, and he took my number. I got a Atlanta phone when I moved to Atlanta. So it was
right.
an Atlanta number. And then me and my friend was like really excited, like, oh my gosh, we've only been here for like about a week. Look, we're done meeting people. Cause they say Atlanta is the Black Hollywood now,
I don't want to cut you, but I asked you of one of your work experience, and this just sounds like such a good experience
It
boiling up.
started
Man.
off
It
good.
sounds so good.
It started off good. So I'm like, okay, we're all hype. And then he had texted me the next day, and he was like, let's go get link up, let's go get some tattoos. Right? And then I
Right,
looked at my phone, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm here trying to work. This guy's texting me about tattoos. So I'm like, nah, I'm not even gonna get into that type of situation, because I wanted to stay very professional, very
right,
business, right? So I said to him, I'm like, I'm busy today. I had something already prior, although I had absolutely nothing
Nothing.
doing that day, but I just created that. The next day he messaged me. He's like, okay, you wanna come meet me at the studio? I wanna come meet you at the studio or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Did you get the stuff that I sent you? He's like, yeah, I got the stuff. Meanwhile, I'm thinking he probably didn't even listen to anything, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's a huge guy. And then he sent me a message that crushed me.
Oh.
He said, I will give you fame and fortune if I can have one night with your friend. The friend that I came with to the bar. And I was like, what does man feel like? I'm some kind of pimp? I'm not no pimp. What do you mean? I want I want to be recognized for my talent. I want to get it the right way, but I don't want to have to do compromise myself or my friend. And I ended up letting him know. I'm like, I can't do that. She's not really even interested in meeting anyone out here like that. I just really want to get down to working. And then he's like, okay, no problem, no problem. And then I messaged him and I'm like, you never sent the address for the studio. Send me the address. And then he responded, no, I'm good. Just like that. Fast forward Thanksgiving, America's Thanksgiving, because I'm Canadian. So our Thanksgiving is October. Their own's in November. Fast forward Thanksgiving, I got a text message saying Happy Thanksgiving. And it's this guy randomly texting me on Thanksgiving saying Happy Thanksgiving. And I never responded to it or anything, but like, if he knew how much that crushed me, because me being just so optimistic about meeting people, and I always heard this saying, don't meet your your stars, don't meet people you admire,
Yes.
because they're gonna
It's, you're gonna,
disappoint you.
yeah.
And that's exactly how I felt in that moment. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he was that guy as well. I couldn't believe it.
So like the
And that's
deal
just
is
one of many.
many.
One of many. But yeah, that guy. And he probably don't even remember. It's Gnarls Barkley. It's a F you. That guy. I
Oh,
call people out. I don't care. It is what
well,
it
it's
is.
not. It's you, not me.
It
Like
is,
you
yeah,
said
it
it.
is what it is. It
You
is
have
what it
your
is. But
proof.
it's like you expect different from people you admire, people that are great. But I just want to show people that it doesn't matter the level of who the person is. It's
Right.
just this is what it is. You
People
gotta
will be
stay
people.
strong. You gotta just know what you're for and keep
Yeah.
doing what you're for.
I know you have many more of those could
I have a
share.
lot of those stories.
So these are the things that the upcoming artists have to look for, and it could be male or female. It could be whichever. It could be a man with a female friend. It could be it could be anything because the world is different now. Like people like different things, so it could be anyone. You know,
Yeah, but I
and
just it's important, especially being a female. I want these, like, if you're coming up, and I know men have their strive too, because I've heard some stories from some men that you
right,
would not even imagine. But I just need people to know, if this is what you love doing, focus on the music.
right.
Don't go off course of that. That's what you're here to do, is the music. You're not here for the rest of the stuff.
But we can always say that, but think about a poor person coming from the ghetto, loving music, starting music, and then you see all these things being presented to you. You see, they're presenting you all this opportunity, they're showing you all this money, they're showing you all this possibility. How do you hold out and resist all of that?
I know it might be really difficult for someone who has nothing and feel like they'll be able to gain by doing or compromising themselves. But how are you so certain that they are going to follow through with what they say they're going to
Yes.
do, even after you do what you know you didn't want to do in the first place. I mean, I'm prayed up. God is boss, and that's it. You know, if it's for you, it's for you, and no one could take it from you, and
Right.
that's it. So with the opportunity comes, it's gonna come, and no one's gonna be able to take it from you.
Being satisfied is a key thing in all of this. You know, being satisfied with what you achieve, where you're at now. You know, being contented with yourself, and as you said earlier, knowing yourself, know what you stand for. These are the things that you have to put forefront so you can stay grounded in this industry.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure there have been many good experiences also. So let us hear some of the good things, or one of the good
Good
things that
experiences. Good
we have
experiences.
heard from before. You know, like the whole starting of the career. Like your journey so
Yeah.
far to me has been right quite an interesting. Really good journey to look on and patronize. You know, so
Good
tell us some more.
experiences are, for me, is when I have the ability to perform on a show that I know I prepared so much for, and I'm able to execute that show. Good experiences for me is when I meet other artists who are very humble and down to earth, and you can have conversations and get advice from them. I was able to meet Lyrical in Trinidad, and he was really good, and he was, had a really great personality when I met him.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that, I was able to meet. That's why I
Mhm.
said there's the good
Good
ones.
one.
Don't
Yes,
forget,
that's
there's
true.
the good
Good
ones.
ones.
There's the good ones that really, is there and is humble, and you can have a
Yeah,
conversation. They don't forget where they're from. They
right.
have to start from somewhere too. You
Right.
don't just wake
What?
up and you're out there.
Right. What was your Jamaican experience like? Your Jamaica experience. And what was it like to be in the presence of people like Mr. Freddie McGregor and
Oh my
all
gosh,
those
that
things?
was a
Oh,
crazy. Freddie McGregor's amazing. Like, I'm not taking that away from him. He's amazing. The
I'm sure
situation,
this
huh?
could fit in one of your good experiences, I'm sure. So tell us about the Jamaica
It
trip,
was
you
a
know?
great experience for me. The cameraman, not so much for him, but it was a great experience for me.
What happened to the cameraman?
The cameraman just, he wasn't ready for that life.
All that. Okay.
But being in the studio with Turbulence and
Turbulence, yes.
meeting and Deli Ranks and then meeting Freddie, I think it was a great experience. I was able to be in studio with them, and I just think that was a great opportunity. I got the opportunity to perform in UE in Jamaica, and I performed Montego
Oh,
Bay at Margaritaville, and
wow.
Jamaica. I love Jamaica because Jamaica reminds me so much like Trinidad,
Yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
it's just a vibe, and there's so much talent out there. So to be able to be amongst so much talented people, you could have like someone who taxi guy, and he could
Yes,
sing. I mean, sing, and
it's true.
it's just amazing. I mean, I love Jamaica. I tried a lot of foods in Jamaica that I hadn't tried before, and Jamaica is one of my favorite places. I'm not gonna lie.
Good to know. As a
Uh-huh.
Jamaican, it's nice to hear that, you know. And I think there's a myth that Trinidadians and Jamaicans they're always at rivals, but I think
I
we're the
don't
two
know.
closest. Like we have so much in common.
So
Like
much in common.
even the food. Like I just realized. I think it was this year that I realized that the two most popular are the two best Kentucky Fried Chicken is
Is in
Trinidad
Trinidad.
and Jamaica. Well,
It's in Trinidad.
Trinidad and Jamaica.
It's in
Stop it.
it's in Trinidad.
There's
No.
that competition also. Oh, Trinidad one is better, Jamaica one is better. I wasn't even aware that Trinidad KFC was that good. Like we're not promoting
It
anyone
is
here, but
so good.
that is
It
how
is
much
so
Jamaican
good.
and Trinidadians are kind of alike in taste and flavor and the music. When you think about Jamaica being dominant in reggae music, you think about Trinidad being dominant in soca music. Like yeah,
Right,
we just
right.
have that thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's nice, you know.
Yeah, I love.
So I
I'll
find
tell you, so similar. So many
right, I find
similarities.
Trinidadians always like Jamaican culture, and Jamaican always like Trinidadian culture. Like it's kind of I don't know,
And then
but
I was able to in Jamaica, like I went on, I was able to be on the resort and learn and feel resort life, which is nice, it's
mm,
nice. But then I was able to link up with new kids and be in the street life, and he take
yes,
me to certain places and
uptown, eh?
amongst certain people.
Yeah,
So I think that life, when come out of the resort and like be amongst the people and go
people.
into a dance and be amongst the people,
It's a
that's a
whole different
vibe.
feel. It's like if you experience the tourist life in Jamaica, the native life is like two different worlds, you
It's
know.
two
Like
different
being
complete
a
worlds.
tourist, it's good, it's great, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The facilities are nice, the environment's nice, you know. But when you actually go out there with the people, it's like, yo, can it be so real? Because
It's
regardless
way
of
better. For me, it was way
way better.
better. Yeah.
We're doing your interview, but we're here, so let's talk about it. Regardless of how people might make it seem in the Caribbean, like the people are violent, even in Trinidad, in Jamaica, wherever you know, most people will think that it's just a place where people kill people and it's just terrible to be there. And honestly, if you should ever visit Trinidad or Jamaica and you're there, you'll realize like, yo, this is such a warm, loving, friendly place. Like Jamaicans, if especially if you're travel to Jamaica, all they want to do is be your friend. That's all. They just want to be your friend. They just want to say that, oh, I know this girl. She's from
Yeah,
Canada. She's
yeah,
my friend.
yeah.
you know,
Yup,
Simple
yup.
like that. So you met some of the greats in Jamaica, but is there like people that you are looking forward to or hoping that you can share a stage with one day? Not
Ooh.
only Jamaican, but like in the music overall.
I would love to be on stage with everyone. I mean, anyone who's really out there right now. I feel like I can be amongst
Yes.
these are my peers. I don't look at them as they're not or anything like that. I feel like my music can stand up next to theirs. I feel like I can be on a stage that they're on a stage as well performing. I opened up for Jada Kingdom in
Orlando.
right before the pandemic hit,
Right.
and I did well. So
Of
I don't
course.
feel like I should be
No, but it's
intimidated.
it's not about whether you deserve to be there or what I'm saying, like like for example, like when you got to perform with Taros Riley, I mean on the same show, I know the feeling, knowing that you admire Taros and you're
Yeah.
there with him. So I'm saying, is there any other artists out there who you haven't been on a stage with yet, who you're looking forward to that day when you will be there with that person?
All the ones that I look up to, like the Bungie. I haven't shared a stage with Bungie. I haven't
Yes.
shared a stage with Fayan. I haven't shared a stage with Patrice Roberts. I think she's phenomenal. Um, I haven't shared a stage with Shensia. I think she's amazing. So I'm
Problem.
looking forward to getting
Quite a
to
few.
that point. Yeah.
Where yes, good. Right. But
Kes is bad. Yes, Kes is bad.
yes, in the man, right.
I saw
Yes,
Kes
in the man.
perform live too, and he's amazing. And he's another artist that I admire because he does soca, but I would consider it world music, where it's not just
Right.
soca influence. He has a lot of different fusions in his music
In his
as well.
music, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how you are too, because I've been
Right.
playing
Right.
like soca songs from you, but we have other songs here that are somewhat different, like
Yeah,
like
I would consider it Afro soca because it has an Afro vibe in it. Like
right.
Tell Me, or even Tunda Juju is like a Afro
Thunder Juju
soca
was like
vibe.
that, right?
Yeah,
It was like, but
yeah.
let as you mentioned, Tell Me, because I was gonna talk about that one just now. Let them hear a little bit of Tell Me,
Okay.
so we can let them realize what we're talking about.
Dr. Rad on the beat. Don't know where you're from, darling. Darling. Come tell me about you. 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 You're fine and cute. feeling so. Boy, how you look so. Your body is calling me. Boy, you look good though. I'm ready to drop it on ya. Fling back, push it on ya. Take all the uku uku. This thing I put it on you. Mash me up in the corner. Raise me back on the speaker. I like it just like that, baby. I like it just like that, ayy. A little bit rough on the side. I love anyway how you ride. I like it just like that, baby. I like it just like that, ayy. It's the way when you give me, ole, like I'm feeling tonight. Oh yeah, 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 right here, baby. Come on, I said right here, baby. It's the way when you give me, ole, like I'm feeling tonight.
I love sing about wine. You can wine. I would like to see you one day, because you're always singing about that wine and that bumper and turn it around. And
Well,
can
that's
imagine,
soca.
I can
Soca,
imagine when
you
you're on
have
stage,
to
though.
whine. You have to talk about your bumper at some point. You have to be able to some man taking a jam or something behind you. Like it's soca, so you're gonna. But then you hear more topics of versatility when it comes
Yes,
to dance hall.
yes. So what this fusion between that Afro soca, so it's a so like I don't Afro soca or some
Mm-hmm.
or Afrobeat.
Mm-hmm.
What drive you to that direction, and how did you come to creating this song?
So Tell Me was produced by Dr. Rad. He's the same producer who did Liking It.
Yes,
And he does a lot of Afro beats for
okay,
other artists. So he was able to send me over this beat and see if I could tackle this beat. So that beat, I worked with the same writers that I did with Liking It, and we created Tell Me. And it was just, it was just, I guess it was just time because I am fusing and I am experimenting as
right,
well. So I think it was just something that naturally came to do a song like Tell Me, because Tell Me came after Thunder Juju, which was
right.
I was already going in that vibe. I was already going in that direction. So
Direction, yeah.
Tell Me was natural.
How much does that producer know you as a person? Is somebody that's quite familiar with you? Because he seemed to have a feel of the things that would work for you. Like,
I think for producing me for Soca, I think he knows he can hear a beat and be like, okay, this is something Shorty would want. He
right,
knows me that well that he can cipher out beats for me without me having to hear it for myself and
right.
know that I'm going to want to do it. He knows my personality. He knows we hang out, and we'll go out once in a while as well outside of. So we have not only just a working relationship but a friendship,
A
and
friendship.
he's one of the good ones because
Yeah,
it's
that's fine to talk.
always been strictly about the
Music,
music.
right.
So yeah.
So do you think that it's good to find, like, especially in your team, like when it comes to production, it's good to kind of find people who kind of somewhat know you than just be getting rhythm from just anyone, or so you feel like it works better when you find someone that kind of know what you're about, and familiar with how you deliver and all of that.
No, I think that you being able to create music is always going to open doors for other producers wanting to work with you. So, you know, the producers I have been lucky to work with thus far, they gave me the opportunity to work with them, and our relationship just built from us working together. So that can also happen with a new
To
producer.
producer,
You can also build relationship. They can get to know the style and vibe that you like with conversation or being in the studio with you. So I think don't close yourself off with who you can work with. I think because you never know where you might find the song. You don't know where you're gonna
right?
what producer can, because as much as you have to be a great artist, you want great producers behind you as
Producers,
well, because it is a process. It's not just the song. You could create a great song, but you send that song to mix, and a mix can ruin your song. So
yes,
you just need the person with experience who knows what they're doing as well, behind the track as well. So yeah, it don't close yourself off. Work with other producers. You never know what you can learn with working with new people.
New people.
And I think it's important to open yourself up to do things like that.
Good. So on the journey now, like when it comes to like negativity, negative comments, negative criticisms, and those things, how do you handle them? How do you deal with them? Do you try to fix them? Do you even address them, or do you just make them slide? How do you deal with that part of it?
I think for me, I just completely ignore it because it makes no sense. Like I'm generally a happy, love life. I love to eat and laugh and
Right.
smile. I have a I would like to think I have a great personality, and to bring that type of energy into who I am, it makes no sense. No, don't think I'm a pushover now. That's something completely different,
Yeah.
But you want to, but there's always going to be someone who don't like something you're doing. There's always going to be someone who's going to hate on something, but let that motivate you and continue to do what you're doing.
Do what you do.
Completely ignore it. It makes no sense entertaining any of that energy because, you know, positivity drives positivity, right? So you want to just stay on that positive vibe that you have.
All the time.
Yeah.
See. All right. I don't want to keep you all even, so let me try to wrap up with a
I
few
know
more
this is going
questions.
so long only because it just feels like a conversation. So that's why these
Which is
things go
good.
longer than
Yes,
you
exactly.
anticipate it to go,
The
but that just
chemistry.
shows you how good of the interview was.
Right. So we're just flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So as it relates to technology, seeing where we are now in the music, things keep changing regardless, but we're in a new normal of life. You're right now coming out and you're still being seen. As I said, I keep mentioning that you're here because we see the work that you've been putting in alongside your team and all that. So how do you keep up with technology in this time and the way that things are going to keep relevant and be out here now? We can be interviewing you. How do you do it? Like, what changes did you made? What are you doing different?
It's important to move with technology or you're going to just get left behind, right? Because it moves so fast. Things change all the time. So for me, I make sure my social media presence is always there. When I drop music, it's good to drop music for people to hear it, but I make it a point to shoot visuals so that people could see me, people could see that song turn into life with a video. And it also makes your face stay out there, because out of sight is out of mind, and you want to be
Right.
able to stay in people's faces to so that they can see that you're still working regardless of what times we're in right now, that you're still working and you're still creating and you're
Exactly.
still making videos and things like that. So a lot of the songs you've played today and that I'm sure you'll finish off playing, you could search for Shorty online and you
Online.
probably see a video to back up the song
Back
that
of
you're
the
hearing
songs.
today. Yeah.
Right. Good. So is there ever like a moment when you felt like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to give up this thing.
All the time.
Are you for real? So what keeps you
I mean,
motivated and what keeps you going?
listen, I mean, this is not an easy
Rachel K, big up.
easy business. It's not, but there's times you might feel down. Like there's times I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Should I continue doing this? Should I continue investing all this money into
All this.
this part of the craft or in this part of the artistry? It is an investment and it's not cheap at all. So, you got to pay for a lot of things and you have to be able to invest in yourself. So there's times you might feel like you're not being seen, but then
Right.
you get an interview with Hot Topic with Jono, and then it's like, okay, well, I can keep going, I guess.
Yeah, of course. You see, and it's good that I'm even telling you that we appreciate your music. We hear what you're doing, and you're doing good. You just got to keep going. Like, don't be discouraged.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
consistency is
is
key. So
key.
you
Yeah,
have to stay consistent. So yeah, even though sometimes I may feel like exhausted, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to continually create and be seen and to invest and but things like this makes you feel like, okay, I can keep going. I'm being
Keep going.
seen. It's not all in vain. It's happening. Things are happening.
Yeah, and
So,
look at it. You're actually been sitting here with me for almost, hour and a half, and just
mhm,
talking about yourself, your journey, and I'm sure we're not even cover half of your story yet
not
as yet.
even.
So
But,
much you have been doing, and it's mostly positive and good things. So you've been
mhm.
doing good. Like it's paying off and it's worth it. As you said, you cannot give up. Like you encouraged them before, you cannot give up. You gotta keep putting work into your craft and keep investing in yourself and keep going on. Because the
And I
moment you
think
give up,
too, as well, like as an artist, like you're gonna always be your toughest critic. Like for me, I'm going to be my toughest critic. So that's why when before I put something out, music wise, it has to be sonically perfection to me.
right,
And if before I put something out visually, it has to look like perfection to me. So I'm always gonna be my toughest critic. But that I think makes me set my bar so high so that I can, be seen by someone like you and
yes,
others, right?
yeah. So, I'm trying to wind up here so I can give you some of your Sunday evening to go have, your own time. But if you could talk to all of the upcoming artists now, and even the ones that are, even before you and are, they're discouraged, what would you say to your colleagues to keep them grounded and keep them motivated and encourage them to keep going on, keep doing the good work?
I will say, keep going. Sometimes it may feel like it's tough or you're not getting anywhere, but trust me, with hard work, that absolutely pays off. So keep going. If it's something you love, keep doing it and stay positive. It could be hard to be positive sometimes, but like I've been saying, Jono's been saying, positivity brings positivity. So you just
Right.
gotta keep it going.
Good. Is there anything that you would, if you had the chance to, start over, knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would do differently?
I think I probably wouldn't be as friendly at the beginning with people. I think, at the beginning I was maybe too nice,
Yeah.
where, it gave people the ability to not take me as serious. I mean, if I was now, like you call me, it's business, like it's
Right.
about the business. What are you calling me for? Get to the point,
Right.
and I'm straight to the point. What is it? Before, I would be a little bit more friendly in the sense, like, you have small talk with people, and
Right.
and you already know, you once you already figured those people out, just, you could cut it off and not even entertain certain conversations because you already
Yes.
know it's like, "Ugh, I'm just talking to this person to get on this show."
It's
Like
the growth and the maturity. It comes with time,
it comes with
experience.
time, and that's that's so important that you say that because with time comes wisdom,
Right.
and with that, things that I was very ignorant to prior, or I didn't pay close attention to then, I pay close attention to now.
Wow.
But
Right.
trust and believe me, I wouldn't change anything because I think it really built who I am now in
Right.
the sense of strength in this business, determination that I have in this business, and wanting to achieve and set the bar for myself the way I've set.
Good. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Like sitting here and talking to you is really, enlightening and refreshing. It gives like these are the type of shows that I want to have where people can learn, from, the experience, the journey, the things that you go through. It's just humbling to sit here and hear your story, which is a different story from the other person's story. Doing Griffiths, big up yourself, Sean Mercy in the building. Big up to everyone that's checking in. We're here with Shardy. Shardy, how did you come about that name? What does it mean to you? Where did it come from? Tell the fans about
Okay,
that.
so when I was first, everyone used to call me Shoddy, which is like a sawed-off
Right.
shotgun. They said I'm small with a big impact. That's how they described me. So they called me Shoddy,
Shardy.
and my voice was big, right? So, um, my uncle, who I spoke about earlier, who's a rap soul artist, he gave me the name Shorty because it's a play on words. So it's still saying, yeah, Shorty, because I'm still small in stature, but it's short form for Surely Destined.
Surely Destined.
Yeah.
I just want to highlight that. So
Yeah.
Surely Destined gave you the name Shorty.
Yeah.
So that means they should all realize you're surely destined for the music.
I'm surely destined and nothing they could do could stop it.
Because we already learned that you went to university and you have a career actually other than music. You know, what are some of the things that you do other than music? And I know you choose music, but you can do other stuff. What are some of the things that the fans wouldn't know about Shorty?
This is the thing, like, even when you have downtime as an artist, because you're going to have some downtime if you're not where you want to be, right?
Yeah.
So when I have downtime, I always take the opportunity to do other things. Like, I went to take real estate. I also love cooking, so I catered for a couple of things because I can cook. And I went to take other extra courses. So early last year, I took a forensic science course to see if it was something that I would have actually liked. I know I already have the psychs behind me, child development, all these things. And I'm like, I always like all these criminal shows, and I'm like, okay, let me try and take a forensics course and see if it's something I like. And it was something I did very well, and I finished with an A. So, just don't ever stop learning. Especially for me, I never want to stop learning or feel complacent or just chilling. Like, it's good to chill, but it's good to learn or find ways of making other income while you're doing things that you love doing. So if you can find ways of making income while you're creating music, I mean, that's a plus, right? So, and I like to spend.
So you want to make money.
I like to buy things. So I need income coming from other places, right? So, it's very important for me. So I always try to learn extra things.
So you would like tell, all the people out there who, whether you pursuing musical career or any other career, try to have some backup plan. Try to make sure that you can do something else.
You always need a plan B. I know people don't like to get plan Bs because they're so determined for their plan A to work. But it's not, it's really good to have a plan B and sometimes a C, just in case. You never know.
It's
you want to have faith.
Prepared. You gotta
be prepared.
Yes.
Like, I know if this doesn't work today, music is not my bread and butter. So if this doesn't work today, I'm still fine. I'm still very comfortable, And so if you're doing music and it takes an investment to do certain things, there's mixing, you have to pay for mastering. If you don't have an investor, you're paying for all these things, videos, photo shoots, all these things. So if you don't have, and you're not getting that money back from music, you need to have, I would never be that type of person, be like, no, put your all into this and go broke and end up homeless. And no, have a job, do things at the side so you can make money so that you can still be able to keep your head above water.
Very well said. Very well said. I have here, before I let you go, I have two of your more recent songs. I want to play those two because I wanted you to tell me more about those, seeing that I hear these in rotations a lot now. So something is happening for these ones. Well, all your songs have been playing, but these songs right here, I've been hearing them quite often. So let me first play My Thing, and then we talk about My Thing. And, whilst I try to wrap up and let you go.
Okay, all right.
My thing, my thing,
Happy music again.
my thing, my thing,
I like it.
my thing,
Who you talk
my
about?
thing,
Good girl.
my thing,
What the good as them then?
my thing, a ling. Me call him and them want to sing. Ready to give me anything for my thing. ting a ling a ling. You must see that my ting this, my ting that. My ting this, my ting that. Can't be yours, it's my ting that. My ting this, my ting that. My ting this, my ting that. You must see that my ting this, my ting that. Can't be yours, it's my ting that. My thing is mine, so me go cock it up and back it up and tick tock and bubble up and get your wine where you can't get enough. Look it tight, look it clean, look it buff up and stop it up and jack it up and when I ride like a bike, I pull up and make it drop and pick it up and make you feel how it's tough. My thing a ling a
Bah!
This is how you create hit songs. This is how you create great music. Like, tell us about this music, and I know that some other great musician is also behind it. So I'll let you talk about it. What's going on here? This is not soca now, you know.
This is not
You're not gonna
soca.
trick me, you know. You're not gonna trick me. This is not soca now, and this is still you. What's going on there?
This
How did
is
this come about?
my thing, produced by Bada General.
Big up, brother general.
Big up Bada General. He produced my thing. I created a few songs with Bada, and out of all the songs, this was one of his favorites. I held back this song so that I'm able to create visuals for the
Right.
song because I felt it in my bones that this song could have that potential to be a big song. So the song came easy to write. It was the old school vibe with the new school feel with me being on it. And that's how I got my thing. And it's a ladies' anthem. It's a ladies' anthem.
Yo, the song is bad.
Thank you.
The song is bad. Hold on.
my thing, my thing, my thing, shorty, my thing, a ling a ling. Me call him and them want fi sing. Ready fi give me anything for my thing, a ling a ling. You must see that my thing, this my thing that. My thing, this my thing that. Can't be yours, this my thing that. My thing, this my thing that. My thing, this my thing that. You must see that my thing, this my thing that. Can't be yours, it's my thing that. My thing, this mine. So me go cock it up and back it up and tick tock and bubble up and get your wine where you can't get enough. Look it tight, look it clean.
Let's hear you. Look at that.
You just shut me down quick. Look it
Sorry.
tight, look it clean, look it buff up and slap it up and jack it up and when I ride like a bike, I pull up and make it drop and pick it up and make it feel how it's tough. My ting a ling, make all the man them want to sing. Ready to give me anything for my ting a ling, my ting a ling, make all the man them want to sing. Ready to give me anything for my ting a ling. You must be mad.
Big up yourself, Shorty. And as I said, big up to Bada General, to the whole team. And I have a feel like, Bada been dabbling in the music. I think I'm gonna have Bada General here soon so the people can know what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Bada is coming from, selecting sound system. He's an artist, he's a producer.
Pieces, right? So he came
Yeah.
from early. He
Early,
started off
early.
when he was
Mad
a
Squad.
he was a kid.
Exactly.
So when I learned his history, I couldn't believe. I'm like, so your parents didn't know you were going out to play a dance, like at 14,
Right.
But he's like,
He
he
grew
used
in
to
it.
Sneeko. He has an amazing story as well, and he's very, very talented. And I
You
think
wanna bring him on.
you could hear it in the production with this song as well. So, and I have another song coming that about to produce and
Yes.
another
was-
big tune.
I was just gonna ask you if if you think that you're gonna be doing more work like this with him, but now that you mentioned there's more
Yeah.
coming. I feel that him having the feel of the dance hall, playing him sound system, all of that, then also delivering the music as an artist now.
Hmm.
I think that kind of put a cap, a plus on his production
I
skills.
agree.
And he's been doing some great things with Liquid, like they're very entertaining. I have a business
Yeah.
that I'm playing, and when their song come on, the barrel, the series, and all of those things, like they're doing great works, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring these guys on too, so that when people can hear their journey, their story,
Yeah.
as yours. Shardy, I want to thank you for being here with me. Like, it was a pleasure sitting and talking to you. I hope that
as the career grow and you excel more and you get bigger in the industry, you'll remember us, and someday
Always.
and someday you will pass again, and let the people know where you are, where you reach. Before we talk about the things that are coming, I have one more song. I'm not gonna overdo it, but I want to play one more of your song at
Okay,
least
all
so that the
right.
people can hear it, because I'm loving all of them, but I don't even know which one to say is my favorite. So I'm gonna just stop with this one.
Okay.
He say he like cocoa. He say my love tasty. He like to suck mango. Ain't have none of lately. If he get with me though, he have to eat daily. Keep it on the low low. No it's but a maybe. I give him the pressure. Raising the pressure. He want the pressure. Raising the pressure.
Dinner time. Food done cook, so come inside. Open wide. Plenty meat I have provide. Hey, seasoning, known to clear up all your skin. All the juice you're drinking in, really good for cleansing in. Tell me how good it is. It's the best, no debate. Food all over he face, nothing left on the plate.
Yeah, Jesus, I don't know why you're playing with those words, Like,
So this song just is a ode to going back and being in calypso tense, because in calypso tense you would write songs like this but not say what you mean, but write it in a way that you can use your imagination and figure out what I'm singing about.
can I tell you? Sorry to cut you. I choose to talk about this one last because I wanted to highlight, and I'm happy you said that just now. I want
Mm-hmm.
to highlight that these are some of the things that we're missing in the music.
Yeah.
This is when the fun was in the music. This is when adults could be listening to the music with their kids, and the kids could be vibing to the music and not knowing exactly what it is saying. It wasn't
Absolutely.
outrageous. It wasn't X-rated. It's
Mm-hmm.
just playing on words. And as adult, I can be here laughing and covering my face saying, "Nah, we're not into that." Because some of us
Right.
men are not, into certain
Yes.
things, or we'll always. But we know exactly what you're saying. Food all over your face and all kind of things that go on. What have they heard what you were saying? Hold on, hold on.
He say he like cocoa. He say my love tasty. He like to suck mango. Ain't have none of lately. If he get with me though, he have to eat daily. Keep it on the low low. No it's but a maybe. I give him the pressure. Raising the pressure. He want the pressure. Raising the pressure. Dinner time. Food done cook, so come inside. Open wide, plenty meat I have provide. Seasoning, known to clear up all your skin. All the juice you're drinking in, really good for cleansing in. Tell me how good it is. It's the best, no debate. Food all over his face, nothing left on the plate. He say he like cocoa.
You say my look tasty.
What kind of cleansing you're talking about? All that juice you're taking in is good for your skin. What are you talking about, girl?
It's good for your skin, man. Not telling you.
I don't know about your culture. I know where you get those remedies from. Well, big up on the creativity and big up on the delivery too. It has to be a package to make the music good. And you have the package. Just keep putting in the work, as I keep telling you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track. You're on
Thank
the right
you.
part. I like the part that you choose. You don't necessarily go do the same thing that everyone else is doing. You find a little space for yourself, but you're wiggling yourself through, and you're doing good.
Thank
Is,
you.
is there anywhere in the world, a final question before I let you talk to your audience, and if you want to sing a little bit for them or whatever, is there any place in the world that you're looking forward to performing?
I would love to go to the UK.
UK.
That's just one of the places I've never been, and it's just somewhere that I feel like they would receive my music immensely. And yeah, I just can't wait to get
Great.
that opportunity to do that.
So UK, people are here. You hear that? Look out, Shardy, book her, find a producer, a promoter, someone there, and make sure you have this great talent in your place at some time soon. So final questions, and then I'll, after answering, you just go straight into, saying what you want to say to the people. If you want to make your beautiful voice be heard, you can. Lock and Key Entertainment, John Frost, Liquor Thunder, you can give us a little special if you want. But sorry, what can we look forward to? I know that you say you're doing some more works with Bada General. What can we look forward to after this interview, after this pandemic, the near future from Shardy?
I think you'll look forward to more great music, more visuals. Merch is coming soon. My website is going up. All these great things is happening. So everyone could always follow me and follow my journey based on my social media. You can always find me at Real Shorty, and you'll be able to see all the bookings and everything. But what's coming up is more great vibes from me, and I just hope everyone continues to receive the music as well as they have been.
Good. I'm sorry, but I hear you keep mentioning more visual, and you mentioned with the song My Thing that you didn't want to put it out until you have visual. How important is visual to your music and your career?
I think it's important for someone that is like me on my level, because I'm not getting a huge set of bookings. So I have to have people see me in other ways. And for me, I think the visual definitely helps the song grow even more. It's one thing to put out a song and the song is good, yes, but I think the visual definitely helps to grow the song even more. And you can also put the song on other platforms based on visual. So it opens up another set of arenas for the song to be placed.
Great. It was good having you.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
being here. I let you thank the people and take the floor for yourself for the next few minutes whilst we wrap up. Thanks once more to you and your team, your beautiful management team, and who services behind your work. Keep on putting in the good work. We love and we appreciate you. Don't give up.
I want to thank everyone who tuned into the live. I want to thank everyone who continues to support Shorty, stream my music. You can find all my music on all digital platforms. So you can find me on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. And I'm very humble and thankful for this opportunity to be on this platform to share my story as well as my music. So I want to sign out with saying thank you, and I appreciate love everyone.
Thank you again for being here with
Thank
us.
you,
We
Jono.
appreciate you. See you in the near future and some
Yes.
stage show somewhere.
Yes.
Take care.
All right. Take care.
Wow, good.
My thing, my thing,
Even a liquor turn to keep the fire.
my thing, shorty. My thing, a ling, a ling. Me call him and them want to sing. Ready if he give me anything. But my thing, a ling, a ling. You must see that. My thing, this, my thing, that. My thing, this, my thing, that. Yeah.
There you have it.
It's my thing, that.
The great Shardy,
Thing, this, my
recording artist outside of Toronto.
that. You must see that. My thing, this, my thing, that. Yeah.
You heard her journey, her story.
That. My
You
thing.
hear the great music.
Let me go cock it up and
Go over there and stream it on all those social media platforms.
get your wine where you can.
Pick up yourself again, Shardy.
Get tight, make it clean.
And it was a pleasure sitting and talking with you.
And chuck it up and when I ride like a bike, I pull up and make it drop and pick it up and make you feel how it's tough. My thing, a ling, me call him
You look
and
like Kanki Entertainment.
ready if he gives
You
me
look like a thunder sound.
for my
Come
thing,
on, John Frost, it's a hot topic crew.
thing,
We're here.
me call him and them want
It's another great evening.
if he give me
Until next week, same time, same place. Yo, Shardy, big up.
you must see mad. This my thing that no man can claim, cause I my thing that this a whole meal can't call it a snack, cause it my thing, this my thing that me no too chat, no carry feelings, me no give two crap. Bedroom bully me a buku slack. My thing, this my